So today's recipe is going to be a basic but delicious roast chicken. So firstly, you always want to dress for the occasion and then get all the ingredients you'll need, which will be down in the description below. Then put everything to the side and get a tray that's pretty equal in size to your chicken. Next, it's time to bring out the main star of the show, our whole chicken, which for this demonstration, we will name Señor Cluck Cluck. So get Señor out of his packaging and onto your tray, and we'll start by seasoning it with a dry brine. So basically, a brine is a salt-based marinade that you will use to season the chicken inside and out. And so for brines, you have two main kinds, which are wet and dry brines. I personally prefer dry brines because they ensure crispy skin and helps the meat stay moist. But for wet brines, yeah, they're just wet. But they still taste pretty damn good. So for our dry brine, we'll get out our chopping board and our herb of the day, which is some rosemary. You then want to pluck off the rosemary leaves from the woody stem and then chop up the leaves into finer pieces. Then you want to get a bowl and add in your salt. And if you're thinking, what in the high blood pressure amount of salt is this? Well, you're seasoning a pretty big piece of meat and you want to ensure it's seasoned all the way through. So to your salt, you want to add some brown sugar, garlic powder, and your chopped rosemary. Then you just want to whisk everything together until it's nice and combined. And while you're at it, take some time to relieve any anger that you may have held in for quite some time. So once you're done and your mixture resembles wet sand, then it's time to take Señor to the beach. So sprinkle a generous amount of your mixture all over the chicken and make sure to get every part of it covered, even the inside. Make sure to rub the mixture in nicely and then let the chicken chill out in the fridge uncovered for 24 hours. If you don't want to wait a whole day, you can always season it a few hours in advance and roast it. So after 24 hours, you can see that the skin looks slightly different, and that's because the brine has drawn out moisture from the skin. And that's what we want because it leads to crispy skin. So now we want to let our chicken come up to room temperature before roasting it. So leave it out, and while waiting you can prepare some vegetables to go with it. So get some carrots and potatoes, and then we'll peel our carrots and chop them into diagonal shapes to basically increase the surface area of them. Then for the potatoes, I just rinse them and cut them in half because they're pretty small already. So once everything is chopped, get everything into a bowl and we'll season them up, starting with some oil, some pepper, some salt, garlic powder, paprika, and some dried oregano, which is optional. Then just toss everything with your hands until everything is nice and coated. Once everything is ready, it's time to roast. So get a tray and line it with some aluminium foil. Then you want to add in your vegetables and make sure nothing is overlapping. Then get Señor Cluck Cluck and it's time to say your goodbyes. So the final step is to lightly oil the surface of the skin so that we guarantee a nice crispy skin. Then you want to get your chicken into the oven at 170 degrees Celsius and roast it for an hour. After an hour, Señor would have had the best glow up you'll ever see. And as you can see, we get some nice crispy potatoes as well. But for the carrots, crispy is a bit of an understatement. So if you don't want your carrots to look like you cooked them on the surface of the sun, I recommend cutting them into much larger pieces. So then get your chicken out of the pan and get all your roasted vegetables into a bowl. And finally, for some quick chicken anatomy. So on your chicken, you will have your dark meat, which is your two thighs. Then you'll have your 2 wings, and then the white meat, which is the 2 breasts. So once you cut it up, go ahead and enjoy the fruit of your labor, because you deserve it.